Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Yaakov back again to holler at y'all, man. All praises to the Most High for bringing us through another week. This week, what we're going to talk about is something that sometimes you think you know a lesson, and then sometimes you get a little soft on it. So the Most High will send you a refresher course to get you back on track the way you need to be. So this was one of them for me. So if it helped me, prayerfully it'll help somebody else, and if not, maybe at some point you'll check in and it'll resonate with you. So it's called Let Your Yay Be Yay. And in parentheses, I put no is a complete sentence. This is Matthew chapter 5:37. But let your communication be yea, yea, or nay, nay. For whatsoever is more than these cometh from evil. This is New Living Translation. Just see simple yes, I will, or no, I won't. Anything beyond this is from the evil one. Wow, that's serious. Like one of my favorite memes puts it, no is a complete sentence. And so is yes. So if you say yes to something, then you should be willing to commit to it. But it's also okay to say no. And it don't always require explanation or anything. You just say no. Like they used to say back in the day when I was in elementary school, I think it was, when Ronald Reagan was president. His wife started a campaign about drugs. Just say no. And it don't just apply to drugs. It do apply to drugs, but it apply to other stuff too. Like I used to be really, really good at this around the time when I first came into the truth. Like when I first started finding out that things that I thought all my life was one way and finding out it was another way. I was on fire, man. From unlearning and relearning and all that. Plus, I had a brother say one time that the spirit of whoever teaches you is going to be on you. And that's true too, because I had the people that I was listening to at that time was like straight up like fire and brimstone. Like they went hard and they wasn't playing for real, you know. So back in them days, and then also to add to that, I was flat broke. And you know, maybe it was a little bit of that bitterness that come from that, because I was a different kind of broke. Like some people be broke and they be in survival mode and they be kissing tail and doing whatever they need to do to survive. I was more like, I don't know if anybody watching ever seen that movie called The Watchmen, where it's though that guy called Rorschach, went in his homie house and he was eating his pork and beans and he still was telling them about himself, you know? Like some people get broke and they get like real subservient and real like, oh, whatever you need me to do. Like, well, I was more like, hey, I ain't got it, so I don't got nothing to lose. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So that's the way that I was at that time, and that's like a lot of being the way I was treated by a lot of like so-called friends, like people that I looked out for when I had it, and they ain't have it. But then when I have it, all they had for me was like words of ridicule and fake admonishments, like telling me what I should have done. Off, I was you, and I'd have had all that money. I'd have did X, Y, and Z. Like I helped you, and that's part of the reason why I don't have it no more. But hey, that's never here or there. Those are lessons learned for real. Neither here nor there. Sorry, I'm trying to look at this and talk to y'all at the same time. But that's neither here nor there. Those are lessons learned, but that would definitely tell why my character was the way that it was for real. You know. But let me read this scripture that kind of explains where I'm coming from, in case anybody don't understand. This is Sirach chapter 40, chapter verses 28 through 30. My child, don't live the life of a beggar. It is better to die than to beg. If you have to depend on someone for your food, you are not really living your own life. You pollute yourself by accepting food from another. Begging is torture to the soul of any sensitive person, and I'm a highly sensitive person due to the tests and stuff that I've taken. So it's torture. The Greek says an intelligent and understanding person will avoid it, do what they can to the best of their ability to not end up in that situation. But we not in control. The Most High is, and sometimes He allows things for our growth and for our character. What they say, no chastening seems pleasant at the present time, but afterwards the fruit that it produces, the person that it makes you after all them lessons learned, that's what really make you unstoppable. If you want to get to the point where you're unstoppable, you gotta go through them lessons. Like you can't have the rainbow without the rain. And if you get it beforehand, before you're ready for it, all you're gonna do is mess it up anyway because you wasn't ready for that. You know? But yeah, like I said, begging is torture to the soul of any sensitive person. Greek says an intelligent and understanding person will avoid it. This is verse 30. A shameless person can make begging sound sweet. I done met some that made it sound real sweet, made it look sweet. Like they made me feel like I'm doing the wrong thing, they doing the right thing for real. But something inside of him burns. If you look at a person like that long enough, or you be around a person long enough like that, you see when they cut that facade off and cut that act off, you can tell they not really happy. Something gonna happen to let you know, to show you that by their actions and by their countenance and everything, this person like that is not really happy, you know. But to stay on topic, man, the point that I was making was that back in that day, I did not play at all. I was super good at telling somebody no, like nah, I ain't gonna be able to do that. But somewhere in getting a little more comfortable made me a little more kinder, made me a little more, and nothing wrong with being kind. But there's a difference, as I always like to point out, between being nice and being kind. And I actually crossed that threshold and became nice for real. You know, like don't get it twisted. It's still real in the field. And that's what that wake up calls and certain wake up calls remind you. Get out of that comfort zone. Yeah, I'm saying don't be too comfortable. Still know that it's real all around you. Even though the Most High protects us from all the things around us, still behooves us to be aware of what's going on around us and not just be oblivious. Because that's how you get taken advantage of. We talked about that before. We talked about this. The similarities between the words innocent and naive, you know. So let's not be naive. Let's know what's going on around us. Know what we even being protected from. Like I say, when it's me, my love, said you never know what the Most High is protecting you from. They showed all type of people, somebody with a knife, somebody coming to fight, somebody coming to steal and all that. And they showed the Most High's angels fighting off each one of them. I'm going to try to find it and try to put it up on here so y'all can see the visual. It's a really cool visual if you haven't seen it already. So, like I said, he used those tough times to grow us up. So I'm not mad at it at all. You know, every lesson I learned was a lesson that needed to be learned. I actually did a song back in the day called "Thank You for My Struggles," which and that's when I was going through it. I was still being thankful, like Job. You know, not saying I'm like Job because I'm never nowhere near on his level, but yet did I trust and yet did I keep on praising for real. And some of those songs was some of the best music I probably came up with. Shame that it probably never get heard by the world because political reasons or whatever like that. But who knows? Maybe we make some of it and let y'all hear some of it. I'm always sticking stuff. Well, I stuck a bunch of stuff on here before I started talking on this channel. That's what I was doing, is just uploading music. So if you haven't heard any of it, you new to the channel, feel free to scroll down before you see these headshots with me just talking and stuff like that. Not just talking because I'm bringing out scripture, but before you seen the screenshots of me, the headshots of me speaking, all the stuff underneath of that is mostly music, to either singing or unreleased stuff that I never brought out and stuff. Some collabs with some my loved ones for real. So yeah, just take the time and check it out one day. You ain't doing nothing. You know, a couple days. As long as we got this tool, let's make good use of it, man. But like I said, I kind of like back in them days because I was no nonsense. New me got a little soft, you know, but no worries. Alpha will always find a way. He knows us the best. Like they always say, he's like a script writer for a movie, or he's like a music producer. Music producers know what to do to get the right emotion out of you. I remember Stevie Wonder, that song. I think it was "Just Enough for the City." They wanted him, that voice that he's singing and like almost like growling and singing at the same time. That came from the producer that was working in the studio with him, and he just kept making pretend like they lost his track and stuff like that, or lost the last thing that he did, made pretend like they didn't record or something like that. And I think it was on his Songs in the Key of Life documentary, they showed it. And he eventually just got angry, like real live angry, and he was singing through growling because he was angry about that. But the fact that it came through on the record was awesome, you know. And the producer kind of knew that was going to happen. That's what he wanted to happen out of it, and he got what he wanted, and we ended up with a classic. So the Most High, if a producer or any human knows that, the Most High knows what button to push with his children to get the right desired result out of each and every one of us. And that's some of the struggles that we've been through. Those are those buttons he's pushing to bring forth the exact fruit and the exact result that he wants from us. For real, I'm a witness of that. You know what I'm saying? What they say sometimes, when we young, we go off our parents' testimonies and our grandparents' testimonies, but as we come up in age, we can give our own testimonies because we've experienced certain things. Shout out to my former pastor, man, and still like a good friend, Reverend Dr. A.C.D. Vaughn, and he used to say all the time, like, oh, you ain't been through this, you ain't been through that. Oh, that's all right, just keep on living. Keep on living, yeah, get it. One of these days, for real. But yeah, our father sent me a wake-up call just recently, and I'm on it now, John. For real. And thank you to the people, person who was involved and everything like that. That it came through a misunderstanding, but through the misunderstanding, we were able to communicate and get to the root of the problem for real. And it was me going back to my people pleasing ways and not saying no, just shutting down and not saying anything when I could have just said no from the beginning. Like, nope, not interested. Thank you for the opportunity, but it's not a direction that lines up with my spiritual journey right now. It could have been easy as that, and it made me think of something that one of my he wasn't a former coworker, but a person who took my spot at my former job. And we used to talk sometimes, just not really comparing notes, but just talking about things that we had in common, certain commonalities or certain differences, how he handled a situation, how I would handle it different, and vice versa. And he was telling me that he came across some people and they wanted to exchange numbers. And he was like, look, man, with all due respect, I don't really see outside of this conversation we having right now, which is cool. I don't really see us having a whole lot to talk about. I don't see us having a lot in common. And at the time, I'm like, damn, that was rude. Could have just gave the person your number. And he was like, what's more rude? You give people your number freely, but you never answer your phone. So what's more rude? You give the person your number and then they call and they really want to speak to you or think they're going to speak to you and you never pick up, or just nip it in the bud right away and let them know that it ain't no hope in us speaking because there ain't nothing for us to speak about. And that's one time that I had to concede and say, hey, you got it, brother. And that's something that I need to work on. And I did work on it at that time. But like I said, I've grown soft over my years or whatever, So I needed something to bring me back to reality. And that's what happened. So, like I said, let your yes be yes and let your no be no. Instead of save you a whole lot of trouble, save you a whole bunch of, I get online and feel like I had to duck people up, scared to check my messages, scared to check my inbox. And then you got some people who will go above and beyond, like they'll leave you a DM. And if you don't answer it, they'll come up underneath one of your public posts talking about check your DMs, check your inbox. And that don't do nothing but make me mad, just for the record. That don't do nothing but make me probably never check your message. You do that to me. It's just an irritant. I might block you just because I don't even want to look at you. I don't even want you to say nothing else to be added to that. I seen a man say, you're not about to stress me out on nothing that I pay for. No phone that I pay for. But yeah, man. I could go on and on about that topic for real, but the point I'm trying to make in a nutshell, like I said, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Don't do a whole lot of bluffing. Don't do a whole lot of beating around the bush, because that's not something that you want to have a reputation of either. And know that you can't make everybody happy no matter what you do. And if you did make everybody happy, you probably wouldn't be happy. I saw a quote that said that a friend to everybody is an enemy to himself. And you definitely don't want to be that. I spent close to 40 years of my life, at least 30, not 40, that's exaggerating a little bit, but I spent probably like 30 some years of my life making everybody I could happy. At this point, I strive to make the Most High happy first, then myself, then the handful of people that I've known through what they say, if you have a friend, test them first, do their testing, and through the storms of life that I know are, friends and who are loyal to me, then I definitely care how they feel for real. But nobody more than the Most High, just to be clear. But anybody who can rock with that, as pursuant to the words of Psalm 35 and 27, you welcome to rock with me, and I love you. Love you, love you. Anybody else? I don't know what to tell you for real, because that's all I got at this point. A quote I love says, focus on you. You've done enough for the ungrateful. And don't get me wrong, I have no problem helping others if what they want lines up with scripture and where I am spiritually. But if not, like one of the most popular audios on social media right now, or at least one of my favorites, that lady, when they ask, can you take their picture, she said, get somebody else to do it. That's where I'm at with it right now. Get somebody else to do it. Like my song from back in the day, the Double X Posse. Can you do it? I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. I wonder where they at now, man. That joint was hard. I want to hear. Now got me wanting to go on here and look and see if they got anything else. What y'all got YouTube music? We'll check it out. Yeah, I subscribe. Oh yeah. But yeah, that's about all I got for this week, man. Much love to y'all. Shalom, shalom. May the Most High continue to bless and keep each and every one of us, especially in these crazy times that we in, to keep getting crazier. Prayerfully, we'll get together again real soon. And y'all Baruch. And I'm out of here. Love y'all.